Uh, All right. Hello, everybody. Appreciate y'all joining us this evening to talk about going to Ethiopia. Appreciate everyone joining. Let me know where you are watching from. I am in the south suburbs. Boy, I just want to be home so bad, right? I am in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan today. I'm always seem like I'm somewhere new, right? Yes, but I recently just got back from Ethiopia, so we're gonna have that conversation. I'm gonna share some images and pictures with you. Hey, University Park. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? I'm usually in the south suburbs of Chicago, right? So I know I'm very familiar with that area. Hey, Vanessa in Chicago, Michael in Philly. Claudia in New Jersey, Yvette in San Diego, DMV is in the building. Hey, Myrtle. Um, Also, give me a one in the comments if this is your first interaction with me or Urban Intellectuals in the Zoom platform. And y'all know you can give me a two or more, right? Two plus, if this is not your first interaction. But I'm always interested in knowing who's interested in that. Give me a in the comments if you've been to Africa. Give me a no in the comments if you've never been. Would this trip to Ethiopia be your first? Hey, Yvette. All right. First interactions are always great. Appreciate y'all. Hey, Rhonda, thanks for coming back. George, I didn't run you off. Mildred, appreciate you. All right. Alexandra says no. Got a couple of A's, lots of no's. For those that have but what draws you to Ethiopia? What is your interest with Ethiopia? I promise to share with you some of the pictures and video, not too much. I don't want to ruin the trip for you, but it'd be a good, interesting discussion. DC, no, first time with us. Okay. Hey, Karen, appreciate Karan, excuse me. And first time been to Ethiopia. All right, love it. Heard it's interesting. All right. Okay. All right. Got a little bit of insight on y'all interest. Let me bring up my presentation. And we'll run through that. And then if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. You can drop them in the comments, and I'll try my best to follow up with you. But we will have a Q&A after this is over. First interaction. All right, JB, excuse me. Appreciate you joining us. Been to Africa. All right, Dion. Excellent. All right, let's dive in a little bit deeper, and then we can come back to some of this conversation. I'm always curious to learn more about y'all and why y'all are interested in these places. What brings you to this level of interest? But welcome to Urban Intellectuals. This is our Sankofa experiences. These are our Black History Travel Made Easy efforts here at Urban Intellectuals. You'll hear this word Sankofa often around Urban Intellectuals. Sankofa is a Twi word out of Ghana, West Africa, from the Akan people. That means to go back and get it. So go back and get your history and culture and bring it forward into your future with you. So you'll see that a lot around here, right? This really at the center of all we do here at Urban Intellectuals. We are empowering our community, uh, utilizing history and culture and empowerment. But that's where we are moving forward. Hey, Michael said he's been to 4 African nations. All right, I love it. Hopefully, we add number 5 to that list as we dive into Ethiopia. But all of this started, the Sankofa experience, started in October 2022 when we took 40 individuals to Egypt for that inaugural trip. This is my dad here on the left. He's 93 years young in this photograph, going to Egypt. I am actually in Michigan at my childhood home right now. He's upstairs resting. He's 95 today. He'll be 96 later this year. But he is our eldest traveler at the moment. But I love to show him because one, he's my international travel buddy. And then two, um, it's never too late, right? So if you're having these dreams, if you're having these goals, just remember a 93-year-old has traveled with us, actually 94, because we went somewhere last year. I'm not sure if the pictures are in this, but that's my man, right? Anyway, so since we started this, we've been to 10 African countries and on 36 different trips. with 425 travelers having these life-changing experiences through our Sankofa experiences. But we're here to talk about Ethiopia, right? Anybody interested in going to Ethiopia, give me an E in the comments, right? I'm assuming that should be everybody. So however many is in the room, we should have that many number of E's in there because we're talking about having this experience. And I'm hot off of it, right? I'm full of injera and Dorowat. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure, but when I travel, I like to dive into the music, the culture, and everything about the country. But hey, who's this guy talking at me? My name is Freddie Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. Black History Made Easy is not only our mantra, but it is our way of life. We figure that it is the most important element while we are trying to empower our community, and we definitely lean into that. In fact, here's a little bit more of what we do in the news clip that we had from last month from Black History Month, but check it out real quick.
CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. Good morning, Freddie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being with us. First, tell us about Urban Intellectuals. What is this?
Our Urban Intellectuals makes it fun and easy to learn Black history. That is our mission. That is our core responsibility. And we created a suite of Black history products and services designed to rewrite the narrative about Black and African people in the world.
Obviously very important. How'd you come up with the idea for Urban Intellectuals?
Oh, I love to say that it started almost 100 years ago because my father's 95 years old and he's still alive, born in 1929, but he instilled in me the importance of understanding our history and our culture and the pride and respect that it instills inside of us. And while my children were matriculating through the school district, I couldn't believe that the limited discussion about the contributions to humanity that Black people have made were minuscule at best. And I kept thinking somebody should do something, somebody should do something. In 2016, I became somebody.
You were the somebody that did something, right? And typically, probably the conversations were in February.
Yes, typically centered around February, centered around the same 8 to 12 people every single year, which no disrespect to them and their contributions, which is amazing, but there's so much more glorious.
A lot more. Okay, so you've got a very cool product.
Thank you.
That kind of makes it fun, right? Makes it fun. Tell me about your flashcards.
Our Black History flashcards feature 52 cards in each deck. There's actually 6 in the series, so we have
6 volumes.
6 volumes in the series.
Cards,
so we're really expanding the conversation centered around Black and African contributions to humanity. I like to have that conversation because this is really the story of the world, right? Black history is world history, and too often it's the missing pages of world history. So
and I see on here 1968 Olympics.
Yes.
Bessie Coleman, Black Wall Street. So just all different things to kind of bring it to light.
Bring it to light, and expand the conversation in a easy to understand format. Because on the back of the cards are just simple bullet pointed information about the people. And the first time that you're exposed to it, it just opens your mind and makes you more curious and thirsty for it.
Who are these for?
These are for just about everyone. We have people who are using them with their young children, as young as 18 months, all the way to 95. I'll cap it there with my father's age because most of us aren't exposed to this information, so it's new to all of us.
And you also have playing cards. That's fun.
Yes, so we infuse Black history and culture into everything that we do. So instead of playing with a regular deck of playing cards, we have powerful Black imagery weaved into the playing card deck.
Exposure. What is this? This looks like fun.
Yes.
I don't know how you do a mystery puzzle, though.
You don't know what the finished product looks like, so that's the challenge, but I can tell you there's Black history wrapped up inside.
Sure, okay. Is it all the same, or is every box different?
The future editions will be different. This particular one is the same right now, but as we expand the line, we're definitely going to do more.
Right. And what else? You guys aren't just in the playing card and flashcard business.
Oh, no. We actually have 19 physical products centered around Black history and culture, but we take it a step further, and we have classes that we teach live Black history to children inside of the Sankofa Club. You can see that at sankofaclub.com, and to adults as well inside of our Sankofa Circle. But we don't stop there. We actually take people on Black history travel experiences to Africa and beyond.
That's so great. What do people, how do people, when they come back from something like that, how do they?
Oh, you're
speechless,
totally, speechless, totally transformed. Because it's one thing to learn about the history and the culture. It's another thing to go see it and experience it for yourself. Be exposed to the food, the culture, the people. It's just a beautiful conversation. You come back changed.
Yeah, I bet. And you've been on several of these, I presume.
I have. I really enjoy it. I love watching the people have these experiences and go through these breakthroughs and breaking down the misconceptions about the contributions of Black and African people to the world.
Where can we go for more information about urban intellectuals?
You can go to urbanintellectuals.com, and on all platforms we are Urban Intellectuals.
Okay, perfect. And you got some of these for the month? You're stocked up?
We are stocked up and ready. Got a special $10 offer for everybody that's going, $10 per deck. So normally that's not the price. We're about 66% off with this special, so take advantage during Black History.
Okay, well, thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate y'all watching that. But yeah, scrap that $10 offer, right? Thank you, Lisa. I see that. We had a standing ovation there. Well, sitting ovation. We'll take it. We take it how we can get it. But yeah, ignore that $10 offer. That was our Black History Month special. That has drifted beyond us. But that's pretty much a good overview of who we are as a company and what we do here at Urban Intellectuals. It's a lot more than just flashcards, right? As you can see. And then obviously we're here talking about going to Ethiopia, right? Again, which I literally just came back from Saturday. And it was a beautiful experience. Of course, I'm going to share some of that image and video with you. But yeah, let's dive into the Ethiopian experience. I want you to join us. This is a 10-day adventure through Ethiopia, Africa's oldest independent country. Discover ancient history, delectable cuisines. I love that. I like that word because the food is absolutely amazing. Warm smiles. In this rugged landlocked nation, which is an interesting concept. There's a lot of history and culture here going on in Ethiopia. And I can tell you firsthand that this is, they are a very proud people. They're proud of the fact that they weren't physically colonized. There is some interesting history around all of that. They are proud to be Black. They are unapologetic about it. The range of colors, like we see a certain type of Ethiopian. Now, I ain't gonna lie, they look alike, right? Like, I mean, it's a homogeneous group. Hopefully, I'm getting that word right. Blame it on my head, not my heart. But they come in a wide range of colors, right? Like, and I swear they look like us here in the States, right? It's just really interesting to be there. Some of them, I was telling my dad today. It's like the kindest group of people. It's the kindest. It's hard to explain. Like Addis Ababa, it has 4 million people, 4 or 5 million people in the city. It's a big city. It's a bustling city. There's a lot of traffic. It's congested and all of that. But everyone is so pleasant. It is the quietest place. It is very interesting. It's the most unique country in Africa that I've been to because it's not like West Africa. It's nothing like Northern Africa, right? Which Ethiopia is. I mean, excuse me, Egypt is really, really close, but it is totally different vibe. The Italians didn't colonize, but they didn't. Didn't they have major presence? Yeah, Lisa. A major presence, and they still do, which is really interesting, right? Which is, I ain't gonna give the whole boat away. You're gonna have to come to Ethiopia and get it all, get it all there. But yes, they weren't. That's why I use the term they weren't physically colonized, right? I think there's some arguments on how strong the outside hand has a place there, but it being landlocked is really interesting. And if you go through the history, they lost Eritrea, right? Eritrea, broke free, became free, but they also had some assistance from the outside. So it's interesting. There's some deep history between the two people in that area, or at least they self-identified and whatnot. But there's a lot of history that comes out of this. I could go on. I don't want to get too long. Let me go through the meat of the stuff, and then maybe we can circle back and talk a little bit more about the history and like what exactly is going on. But it is a phenomenal experience. Like I said, I'm telling you, like fresh off the heels. If you like Ethiopian food, anybody like Ethiopian food? Oh my God. I had it before. I wasn't like stalking Ethiopian restaurants, but now I'm gonna be stalking Ethiopian restaurants, right? Like never had all murder. If you go, do yourself a favor and be open, right? And give it a try. Anyway, let me go through this and then we gonna go through that. I'll get into all of that as well. Yeah, so we're talking about October 9th through the 18th, 2025, starting at 46.99. So think about that as we go through this, right? There's an investment involved with this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't want it any other way. You want to go with people who have been there, who've been experienced. Our travel partner has been working for 2 years for this moment that we just came out of in March. So we didn't just pop up the places that we stay, the places that we attend and visit. None of this is by happenstance. It's really truly intentional. And frankly, that's the investment. That's what you pay for somebody that's been there and know what they're doing. Hey, Christopher already says, see you soon. All right, I had some Ethiopian neighbors recently. Got to cook with the ladies. Love injera. Yeah, oh my God, Lisa, I am an injera head now. And it's gluten free. Who knew? Who knew? And you get to see how they make it, right? It's really, really interesting. I love Ethiopian food. All right. All right, y'all, let me keep going, right? But some trip highlights, right? So we're going to see the ancient heritage. You're going to get deep cultural immersion, right? So, of course, we're going to see Addis Ababa. We're going to, you're going to see you're going to see the big city. You're going to see the lights. You're going to see the infrastructure. You're going to see all the beautiful things, the cultural immersion. We're going to go off into the countryside. We're going to go to traditional families to have that experience. And here's a hint. You might pity them because you think they're poor, but they think you're poor, right? Because we're poor with morals and values and the hunt and the stress of everyday life and taxes and all of that. And when you go off in this countryside, and you get with the families, it's a simpler life. Is that a better life? Is what we doing a better life because you got some red bottoms? Or, is really the crux of the matter of being with your family, growing as a person, communing with the people in the community, raising your children to be fruitful. And they food grow out of the ground. Like everything is like right there, all the way down to the coffee. And we see how coffee was made, which coffee was birthed in Ethiopia, by the way. I don't know if most people know that. But when they go through that, we get to view that process. It's a really interesting thing. And the people that we found out, the people in the countryside or the rural areas live longer than the people in the cities, right? It's just a different life and a different type of stress. So while you're thinking you're going there to save some folks, be careful. Be careful, right? These are people that have existed for, thousands of years uninterrupted by Western society at a whole, right? With a caveat around all of that. You got to catch me on one of these trips. I get down all the way deep into it, but seamless planning, because we've done all of this for you. All you have to do is show up and enjoy. Um, yeah, we need to be saved now. Yes, we do, right? Expert guidance, right? So we have connected with local experts and guides on the ground that's going to give you the story and answer your real questions. And we encourage our travelers to be urban intellectuals, right? To be inquisitive and ask those deep questions. I can tell you, we were in the churches of Lalibela, having some deep questions, really challenging the guides about the things that we're seeing in there. I'll leave a little bit out, but it's interesting, right? So what's included? Your accommodations, right? So stay at premium hotels, including the Radisson Blue in Addis Ababa, and the Haile Resort in Hawassa, and down in Lalibela, we stay in My Bella, which is beautiful. I got some pictures from that inside of here. Entry to the activities, all of the attractions is included in the schedule. Breakfast for each day of your stay is included at your hotel, and then transportation to private shuttles and airports to and from the hotel throughout the journey is all included. What's not included, so we can be clear, is trip insurance. We definitely highly suggest that you get travel insurance, right? So travel insurance with medical. right? Travel insurance with medical is really important. Your medical insurance probably isn't going to be covered over there. And if you don't do this, you're more than likely going to be liable for any medical fees up front. They want their cash, right? So this is why this is very important, not only traveling with us, but just traveling internationally to make sure that you get travel insurance with medical. It's a little bit more. I mean, once you put down $4,500, $5,000 for a trip, a couple of $100, and I'm talking about, like $200, $300. You got to see this as a major benefit, right? It's insurance, just like you have home insurance, you have car insurance, and I promise you, we don't make a dollar on this. I'm not even going to recommend where you get your travel insurance from, but it's just something important for peace of mind. Meals are included. So lunch and dinner is on your own. Beverages and alcohol drinks are available for purchase throughout your trip. And then international airfare. So you just have to get to Addis Ababa and get to there and then have your flight from there. But once you land, we'll pick you up and take you back to the airport as well. These pictures on the left here are from one of the experiences, right? So this is Marcus Samuelson's restaurant. If are you familiar with the international chef? Give me a yes in the comments. If you're familiar with the brother, he is up here in the corner of the pictures here. Put him up there. And listen, this tomato soup right here made the images on purpose. That's not by accident. This was an all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink location. It's on the 47th floor of the highest building in Addis Ababa. It is a beautiful scene outside that window. But this food was absolutely spectacular, right? And I wasn't gonna get they brought so much food to the room and the table to us. It was crazy. And there was an open buffet, right? So I'm getting food from the buffet. They keep bringing food. I'm like, this is insane. They bring this tomato soup, and y'all see, I gotta stop and talk about it because I rejected it. The waitress come through and she's like, tomato soup, and I was like, no. And the dejected look on her face, I felt like I offended the culture. I was like, are they known for tomato soup? Whatever, let me get this tomato soup. Y'all, I almost licked that bowl. Like, it was so good. Just some tomato soup. It was unbelievable. This is injera in the middle, and then doro rot, which is chicken in like a peanut stew, like, and a boiled egg. I went back. I got like 2 servings of this. This was amazing. I can't really explain it to you. You just gotta sink your teeth into this food. And then at the bottom is just an overview of what it all looks like. Oh man, it's so good. I love the food. But here's a high level view. Welcome to Addis, right? Addis Ababa, they call it Addis. You arrive on day 1 and the adventure begins. Get your hotel transfer. We're gonna enjoy a nice rest day there. We're gonna do some shopping. Oh, our shoppers. I promise we got y'all, right? And I'm telling you, every trip I go on, the shopping becomes more and more prominent. It's like we just keep taking it up a notch. Um, but yes, the shopping is there, right? So don't worry about that. You're gonna meet the team. We're gonna get acquainted with your fellow tour guides. We're gonna have our welcome dinner. This is all inside of our day 1, 1 and 2, right? Because you're gonna get some rest in here as well. Likely you're gonna land about 7 a.m. At least that's what I did, right? Let me stop. So we recommend that you land between the morning and 12 p.m. if you can, just so you can get there and start to get turned over and acquainted to that change in time zone, which they are 7 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time there in Addis Ababa, right? So something to think about. But the accommodation options, you can have double occupancy or single occupancy. Double occupancy is $46.99 a person. Single occupancy is $55.99 per person. But the hotels are phenomenal. I got some images and videos of us walking through here. In fact, here is some of that. And you can see, yeah, the hotel on the left is the Radisson Blu. This is the main hotel that we'll stay there in Addis Ababa. You see it's really modern and nice and all of that. The hotel on the right is there in Lalibela, right? So when we walked in, they had the traditional dancing and they greeted us with the coffee and the tea. Then we walked into rose petals everywhere. It was quite a scene, and we're high off in these mountains. On this particular thing, I'm not showing y'all the view outside of those windows you can see on the right. But when I tell you we're in the mountains, the birds are flying below us. Like we are in the mountains, right? Like, woo! It was something to behold there in Lalibela. That's where the rock churches are. We're going to talk and show a little bit about that as well. Let me keep going. But yeah, day 1 and 2 is Addis Ababa, right? We're gonna have adventures around the capital city. We're gonna do some shopping. We're gonna do some eating. We're gonna do some exploring. Day 3 and 4, we're gonna go to Grand Unity Park and Grand Palace. You're gonna have a beautiful view of the city and the things that they're doing. I'm just giving you high level here. I'm not gonna dive into all of the details. Of course, we got to go see the Grand Palace where Haile Selassie home is. We're going to go inside of that. It's a museum. They turn it into a university. It's a beautiful experience inside of there. The tallest building in Africa with the best views of the city, right? For Ethiopian brunch. I showed y'all a little bit of that. That's Marcus Samuelson's restaurant. It is amazing, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. We're going to head off in the Gondor to explore some historical castles and some rich heritage. Lalibela closes out. This is the rock churches down there in Lalibela. Lalibela was the king that built out this area. Man, I just can't wait for y'all to see more of it inside of there. In fact, here is a little bit I wanted to play from some of the clips and video just to give you a feel.
What's happening, good people? Let's go on a flight. Let me take you along with me as we go to Ethiopia for the first time with our Sankofa.
Let me just say it was a 13-hour flight direct from Dallas, DC, into Ethiopia. 13 hours direct. Flew Ethiopian Air. Yeah, so that's just that, right?
Experiences here at Urban Intellectuals. 13-hour flight wasn't that bad, to be all honest with you. This is us landing here in Ethiopia for the first time. Really looking forward to the adventure ahead and really excited, right? It was wonderful going over the desert, then coming into the city and seeing the mountains in the distance. We flew Ethiopian Air, 13 hours direct flight from Dulles Airport there in Washington, D.C. This is the area that I sat in. I just had an economy seat and the flight, so you can imagine the first class or business class is much more comfortable, but that wasn't bad at all. I didn't have anyone sitting next to me. This is us getting ready to walk into the airport. We made it. Super excited to be here and get there, getting ready to go through the customs line. Not a really big deal. I had my visa paperwork. I had all of my information in order. This is inside of the airport. Had to head over to baggage claim to go ahead and grab our bags and all that good stuff. So you can see very clean airport, very nice. People were very friendly. One thing that I noticed is, man, they look just like us. And I'm talking about us as Africans in America. They look just like us. If you spun you around and you spoke, if they had the similar accents, I don't think you would really realize exactly where you were. This is outside of the airport as we're getting ready to board the shuttle. We had our people come and pick us up. It was a couple of us. We landed at 7 a.m. in the morning, their time in Addis Ababa, which is the capital city of Ethiopia. Again, my first time there. Very excited to be here and to engage in this journey. This is us on the way to the airport. I just wanted to give you an overview of what it looked like riding along in Addis Ababa there in Ethiopia for the first time. So you can check it out. I'll let a little music play and you can enjoy the ride as we roll up to the Radisson Blu.
Country, East Africa, have about 3,000 years history. And the capital city is here called Addis Ababa. This is the home of more than 100 embassies, international NGOs, and African Union. So the name Addis Ababa is named by the wife of the founder of this town called Menelik II, and his wife is called Empress
All right, that's just a little bit inside
What's
of
happening,
what you
good
will
people?
see.
Let's go on a flight. Let me take you along with me as we go to Ethiopia for the
Yeah, just a
first
little
time
bit
with
of
our
inside of
Sankofa
what you see.
experiences
Let me
here
give
at
you a
Urban
little bit
Intellect.
more with another part of the journey, right? I bet you won't believe this. I won't give you the whole
Journey
thing
with me
here. Oh, it
into
didn't
the
start.
home of Haile Selassie. This is
All right, so
us
this
on
is, of course, us
About
rolling
the journey
along
of
in
that
Addis Ababa.
time.
I just love to show this type of information because
So
you got to
another thing
defeat
with our
the negative myth of what Africa looks like that the West gives to the world, right? Uh, so this is Addis Ababa University, which used to be Haile Selassie University, which is one of the famous emperors of Ethiopia, but his home is actually here on campus, and they turned it into a museum. And while we're walking the campus, I just wanted to show you some of that and the travelers that was with us. But oh, okay, did I always start it over? Why does it keep doing that? But this is us outside of his home, getting ready to go on the inside. Let me see, what am I talking about?
So upstairs is his bedroom. This is the campus. It used to be Haile Selassie University. Now it's Addis Ababa University.
Took me forever to get that name.
Here, but again, this is the former home, and we're going to get an opportunity to go into his bedroom.
So it was much more than just his bedroom, right? They turned it into a museum, and we really got a good history of the country inside of here. They have a lot of artifacts from in and around. I'm just trying to skip through it a bit. Oh, I thought we was getting ready to go into the bedroom. I was definitely gonna cut it off. I wasn't gonna let y'all see that just yet. But yeah, some more. Here goes some more inside of traditional Ethiopian dancing, which is part of what you get while you're there. You have to have those experiences, right? This is part of that cultural tie-in. As they told us, the Ethiopians dance with the shoulders in the north, and then down going southern into the country, they dance more with the lower body. But this is some of what they call the shoulder dance, it looks like. The traditional shoulder. Yeah. Let's go.
Wait, you need you to get that. Okay, now.
Complete with the hair whipping. I don't know if y'all seen that before. Where they do the traditional hair whipping dance, like it was all there. I got it. I got the video. I got all the stuff in here somewhere, right? But I haven't had time to put everything together. But I just wanted to give y'all a couple of views, a couple of the memories, right, Alexandria? Crazy memories created. In fact, this is what happened when Ethiopia met the Cubes. They caught me. had a lot of fun up there in Ethiopia, right? It ain't all just history, right? We definitely get down into the culture. That honey wine was flowing. Let me tell you, it's something different if you haven't had it. I don't know if you're drinking, no pressure. You don't have to have a honey wine, but that honey wine was different, right? I'll tell you that for sure. But we definitely had a good time. But then we take a flight down to Lalibela, Ethiopia, and this is the home of the rock churches. So there are 11 of these structures where they built them from the ground down. If you can even imagine that, the structures are dug. The I don't even know how to explain it. Right, the churches are dug out of the rock, out of the concrete, and they're chiseled from the top down to the bottom, and then from the inside out. It is quite an experience to see. Take a look a little bit outside of it. I don't think I give you the inside of one of them here. This is the very first one that you see.
Look from this eastern part.
And then I
Actually,
put,
it's really
yeah,
common
look, I
to
got a
see
picture from the top.
such kinds of empty graves. It was, yeah. So some of the higher officials or very important people used to be there, especially during the reign of Lalibela. But recently, they moved them out all, and they reburied them in the cemetery area. And nowadays, this is using as the hermit cell. Like, especially during Christmas, some of the monks and nuns will come here for 1 week, and they just hide themselves with a temporary curtain, and they can meditate or contemplate themselves here. They can pray here. And this is really serious. When you need to have, no, they just go and then they just have to they just have to sit like this and pray all the time. They only go out when they need to investigate nature. Yeah, that is maybe once in 24 hours. Yeah, and from if you just come right here and see all the pillars, and if you just trying to look how it has exact geometrical measured. Look even all the corner post of the windows. Yeah, all the corner post. That looks like the wooden post, yeah? But it's all hewn up from a single or from the mother rock. You see how it's really lined up. And some of the pillars from the eastern part is still original, yeah? So it can tell us the roof, the wall, the basement is hewn out from a single block of rock again.
Yeah, it's really trying to show the craftsmanship of what was developed. And I know from those videos, you can't really get a full picture of what I'm talking about. But this is one of those rock churches, right, that they talk about there in Ethiopia. Again, the where the roof is at was the total all the way across. It was just one big piece of rock in the ground, and they chiseled these down from the top down and dug out around it so that you can get down there. There's little paths around that you can't quite see in the image, but there are 11 of these, and they are absolutely phenomenal to experience. And when you get on the inside, it's even more amazing, right? And there's art, you tend to think of almost hieroglyphics, like Egypt, right? So it's baked into the wall. I saw Black Jesus, right? On the walls there on those columns, right? Like, and you can see it, which makes some of the other experiences even more wild and crazy to me. But it's definitely something that you should experience. And if you are particular, I mean, if you're a historian, you got to go. If you're a Christian, I think this is a must trip. This is probably the most religious country I think I've ever been in. Like, they are pure and serious about their Christianity. It is heavy. I think they fast something like 230, 40 days out of the year. It's not like a total 24-hour fast. It's just, I think, sun up to sundown, something like that is like the fasting period, or excuse me, it's like 9 to 6 And oh man, I got to go back and look through my notes. But it's got something to do with the time that Jesus was captured and the time that he was executed. And they fast between those periods, like say from a minimum of like 230 to 240 days out of the year. It's really interesting. It is a very different place. I thought, just when I thought Africa couldn't get any more different and diverse, it is totally that. Yeah, they are like Orthodox Christians. I think they call it Coptic Christians, right? They have more books in their Bible than the Western Christians do. Very, very interesting place, man. I would say that. And when you come with those questions too, right? Those questions about their religion, their questions about the differences in the religions that you follow. They are open, they are honest, and they are insightful, right? I think, and you know, in a world where everybody is easily offended, they take questions with honor. And they definitely appreciate people coming to explore their country and ask their questions. It's like the most genuine place I think I've ever been. Like it's the warmest. Let me come on, Cameron. It's like the warmest community that I've ever been around. 4 million people, and I was telling Dad, it's quiet. It's just unbelievable, and there's traffic all around, and people. It's Africa. So I don't know if you've been to Africa, but that driving, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what the system is. It ain't a whole lot of stoplights. People don't really yield and stop. They just kind of go and merge, and it just like works. So there's definitely that element there. But it's nothing like North Africa where it's like real hostile, like a lot of horn beeping. What you doing, buddy? Like, it reminds you of the West, right? People shaking their fists and mad at you. Everything is really, really relaxed and it's clean. If you can find a piece of paper on the ground, like you should probably take a picture of it. Like it's like that. It was so clean. Like we were like, what is going on? Like this is crazy. It was crazy how everybody started noticing it after about day 2, 3, or 4. We were like, I've been looking for paper on the ground. It was like, me too. Like, and then like if you see it, you're like, oh, somebody fired. Somebody's fired. There's a piece of paper right there. It is just a really interesting place, man. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And I don't know if I mentioned the food, but the food was fantastic. I'm gonna find me an Ethiopian spot here in Detroit. All right, so that was okay. I showed that. What do I got? What else I got for y'all? Oh, okay. This is inside of the Marcus and Samuelson's restaurant. Just so you can kind of see the vibe. There was like a live DJ up in here. My man was like playing tunes, enjoying ourselves. That was the Durwan station. Should have slowed down again. Proper homage to it. But a nice spot, right? So for people that are concerned about the food, like, oh, Freddie keep talking about this Durwan, injera, you know, something with it, shiro, something like that. I ain't that too. I ain't it all. But they have the regular stuff. In the morning, if you want an omelet, you get an omelet, right? You can get pancakes. They got French toast.
Oh snap! You're the DJ.
You want the injera and the beef tips and all of that, which is what I ended up in spinach. What I ended up eating every morning. You can get that. You can get pizza, right? You can get Italian. You can get seafood.
Wow, it's big up there.
Sushi, right? Everything that you get in French fries, right? You want chicken tenders, right? Like they got all of these things. Particularly at the restaurants we go to places that give you a variety, right? Everybody doesn't want to dive in 100%. Look at that.
What you want to see?
Everybody doesn't want to dive in 100%. Look at them, man. I miss it already.
Yeah, what to say, man?
Right? Yeah, some of the kindest and warmest people. Yeah, it's something else. How's the weather there? So this was March, and it was like low 80s, high 70s, low 80s. It dipped down into the 60s at night. So I had like a jacket. I rarely wore it. Um, and then the rainy season
Yeah, I
is
was about to say you're pretty brave. You're brave for that.
I think it's like November,
Yeah, you fall from here, it's gone.
something like that. But it rarely rains and the temperature stays relatively stable. So it wasn't too hot. It's still Africa, right? So that sun is shining, boy. Let me tell you.
Wow.
When you're in the sun, you warm, right? But just take a nice little jacket. I think
And the
is
walls are beautiful.
appropriate thing to do, just in case. I should have shared some more of that food, but you kind of got a feel for what it looks like there. What else I got in here? All right, and then preparation and support, right? So if you're interested in coming to Ethiopia with us, again, I'm about to open up the Q&A, but you can secure your spot, place your deposit to reserve this Ethiopian adventure. Online cultural training to be coming down the pipe. So once you sign up, we're not just going to leave you alone. We're going to continue to educate you about this travel experience, what you can expect, and prepare you for your journey. Of course, we're going to give you a travel checklist, right? What travel checklist that Freddie didn't follow because I left my electric fan. Man, I like deliberately bought an electric fan for my African travels and I leave the thing. That was like the one thing. Oh, and then my wash rag, right? If y'all used to the short, the small wash rag, bring it, right? So bring two of them yourself. It's in the checklist, but when you go there, they're gonna give you that medium towel that's long. That's the wash. That's what it is. That's Africa, y'all. Don't be mad. Just leave America in America and let's have this experience. But definitely follow the checklist and then travel with confidence, right? Know that you're well prepared to have an unforgettable experience traveling with us. Again, this is 10 days of adventure. Starting price is $46.99 for double occupancy. 5 premium locations, right? We're going into the diverse regions of Ethiopia. These are infinite memories coming your way, and we're going to have a great time doing it as well. So frequently asked questions, are these trips child friendly? Yes, they are. Are these trips adult friendly? Yes, they are. And elderly friendly? Yes, they are. I can tell you this though. Let me give y'all some words of warning. When we go up in them mountains, if we go to Lalibela, I want you to know we are up in them mountains. And the air is thinner. So take your time while you walking around and while we going up and down these stairs, right? Because um there's no elevator there, right? So our elders, let us know. We'll make sure that you're like on the first floor and all of that good stuff. But I was on the third floor, y'all. And about that second time up the stairs, I had to wonder. I was like, is something wrong with me? What is going on, boy? That elevation is different. But I realized we were high up in the mountains, right? So I had to take my time going up and down those stairs. But like I say that, and then I think about all of the children growing up, running up and down those mountains and those hills and playing. And then you think about the Olympics and those Ethiopians like killing everybody in the distance running, right? Hey man, they trained. If they trained up in the mountains, they are serious, right? All right. So anyway, that's my little joke there. Is there a lot of physical movement? Yes, there is. I mean, we got to get down into those rock churches or whatnot, but you can take your time along the way, and you can even sit out. Right, we're going to go into 3 or 4 of those different churches. If you don't want it, if you like, I seen one, I'm good. Had that experience, you don't have to go into awe. We'll make sure that somebody is sitting with you and you're feeling comfortable. Do we offer payment plans? Yes, we do. When you sign up, in fact, you will see your total payment plan leading up to the trip. Is the international airfare included? It is not. What languages do they speak? They speak English and then the native Ethiopian languages, but most of the people speak English. If not, our guides speak English and are able to um, articulate what is being said or what it is that you need to know. Do we pair guests? We do not at this time. How much money will you need on this trip? I'd say anywhere between $400 and $700, depending on if you're a shopper, you're gonna need more, right? Let's just call it what it is. There's going to be some amazing items and opportunities. They are known for leather in this region. So the bags, the clothing, and everything is available. And there are great questions I'm seeing. Is a visa required? Yes, you have to get a visa to obtain entry into the country. It's really simple. It is a online visa process. Then you just print it out and you bring it along with you. I just always fold stuff and put it into my passport. I just threw it away too. I was going to show you, but it's really simple process. I think it comes back in like 3 days. Do we need a vaccine? You need the yellow fever vaccination in Ethiopia unless you have a doctor's note, right? So if there's a ailment in your family, or if you are a more seasoned individual, you can get, those are the reasons that I know you can get a doctor's note to say, I'm not taking this yellow fever vaccine. I can tell you this, I didn't see much mosquitoes. I don't remember a mosquito, actually, to be honest with you. But here's what I want you to know. To spread yellow fever, you only need one. Right? So keep that in mind. Just because I didn't see some don't mean that they wasn't there. And you don't need a swarm of mosquitoes to catch yellow fever. You just need one. Right? Finally took the yellow fever vaccine a couple of weeks ago. We back. You are good. From my understanding, Kalanda, up to 10 years with that vaccination. And they're talking about making it a one and done. So you are covered on that. All right, let me know in the comments if you got any additional questions. Is travel insurance automatically included? It is not, but again, we highly recommend cancel anytime insurance with medical. That's not on here, but we need to put with medical. Is definitely the deep recommendation. Can I add someone to my room later? Yes, so you can jump in now, lock in your spot. We have a limited spot here for Ethiopia. I believe there are about 10 more spots in this particular trip that are available. So we want to make sure that you can lock that in. So if you wanted to grab yours, you can, and then you can add someone to your room later. That is fine. Which airline should you use? It depends. I mean, we're going into Ethiopia. Air Ethiopia, like as I mentioned, flies direct. I don't know if any other place does fly direct. I would imagine someone does, because Addis Ababa is becoming like a hub of East Africa. But I know that that flight wasn't too bad. Michael, we don't do roommate pairing right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. We don't want to take on the liability. Being newer in this travel space, one thing at a time, right? That's just not something that we are covering right now. The currency versus the US dollar is, well, while I was there last week, it was 121 birr to $1. So 129 to $1, right? So while you're out, I'm gonna tell you, right? Let me just give you the real, right? We're gonna give you a mix. You're gonna have like some authentic locations where you're gonna notice, like, man, this pricing is crazy cheap, right? Like $2-3 to eat type cheap, right? Like, man, that's like a more authentic spot. But we again tend to have like a mixture. So some of the spots would be $10 to $20 to eat, right? So kind of keep that in mind, depending on what you get. Despite the difference in money, right? And that's done intentionally because not everybody is ready to just jump wholeheartedly into Ethiopian culture and eat, right? You can definitely eat for less, but can you have some of the trappings of home and comfortability as we are navigating through this trip, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you. Which is your favorite African country that you visited? Juanita, they are all different. I enjoy all of them for different reasons. And the food, I love the food everywhere, right? It's just been different experiences, different flavors, different spices, different people, different vibes. One thing that I'll tell you that was different, other than like the super friendliness, and I thought when I got to Ghana for the first time, I felt like they were genuinely embracing and friendly people. But like Ethiopia is just, the calmness is way different. Um, yeah, the Senegalese food, I think that's still my favorite. It's tough. This Ethiopian food was good. It's tough. I think I'm still giving a nod to Senegal on the food team, right? Like, I'm gonna have to do like, we're gonna see if I can become a food influencer. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, I became an international African food influencer, right? Oh man, put that on my vision board. Um, all right, single occupancy. Oh, let me get back to the prices. All right, I'm still talking. All right, so let me get through this. Can you recommend? Okay, so yeah, so you can sign up for a single occupancy and then add somebody to your room later. Which airline should you use? It depends. Again, Air Ethiopia goes direct. I know for a fact it's 13 hours from Dulles to Addis Ababa. Which city do I fly into? Is Addis Ababa Bole International Airport. What time should you land? This says 2 to 4 p.m. I kind of recommend a little bit earlier. So I'm going to say 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You'll see the flights. Whenever you get there, you're going to share your itinerary with us. I just tend to think the earlier, the better. So it gives you a chance to get to the hotel, to get some rest, to try to start to adapt to the new time zone, and maybe even enjoy some of the local stuff in and around the hotel while you're there. Yellow fever vaccination is the one that you need. Can I drink the water? No, right? Bottled water only. And I recommend don't do any ice. But if you're at the hotel that we are at, you can drink the ice, right? But generally use the bottled water. They're using filtered water, right? So we will let you know which is okay. But I just tend to stick to the bottled water, and I tend to stick to no ice, right? That includes the alcoholic beverages, y'all. So just let you know, right? Don't say nobody didn't tell you. But yeah, so we stay away from that. And I think you'll be fine. All right, so questions. Let me dive into these. I saw a couple here. Yeah, so no roommate pairing, not at this time, but you can add a roommate later. How many hours a day would the tours last? Oh, Juanita, these all day affairs. Yeah, we getting it in, whether we start a little bit later, which might be 9, 10 o'clock. But we're gonna run up until about 4 or 5, then give you like a quick break, change, rest, do whatever you need to do. Then we'll probably go off to dinner somewhere off site, or have a night activity, right? But I always say this is choose your own adventure, right? If you're like, hey, I'm tired, I don't want to go today, you don't go today, right? Or, hey, I know somebody in the area, or I want to do something else while I'm there. Hey, you can do that as well, right? I would recommend that you interact with the hotel's driving service, right? And I don't know, this I do venture off the beaten path myself. I enjoy that, but I like to utilize the hotel's driving service just so I know there's some sort of attachment to a reputable hotel. We can choose our own roommate for double occupancy. Yes, Yvette, you can. You can go ahead and sign up as a single and jump into any of the Urban Intellectuals portals and say, hey, I am going on the October trip to Ethiopia. Anybody else going? You want to join up and be roommates? Y'all can do that. We just don't facilitate that, right? Um, and somebody asked for the price. So single occupancy is $59.99, and double occupancy is $46.99 per person. Right. Senegalese food. Hey, Freddie, provide the information of insurance company that would use insurance package purchased through. All right, Christopher, I'm going to say that again. Man, if I wasn't trying to tell y'all who I use, it would have just popped in my mind. Ashley, can you put down the different travel options? Maybe I'll remember who I actually use. I have life yearly travel insurance. Oh my God, I cannot remember. Okay, I gotta Google it. Oh, Allianz. There we go. Allianz Travel Insurance is who I use, right? I don't have an affiliate link. We don't have a contract with them. I'm just telling you who I use. So this is who I have my travel insurance with medical through, and I do yearly travel insurance. So all of my trips are covered domestically as well. Okay, yeah, there we go. Email Ashley. That'll be great. What about brushing your teeth? Use the bottled water. Now you can use the tap water there in the hotel, Yvette. Good question, though. I see in the future. Yep, I see that in your future. Oh, I appreciate that. The food influencer. Yeah, I love that. I love that a lot, actually. Yeah, choose. Yes, you can choose your own roommate. All right, I'm going there. We do not pair guests. Got that. Oh, Gambia was a great part of the Senegal trip. I definitely enjoy Gambia too. Ooh, and they food. How much a single occupancy? 55.99. A single occupancy helicopter experience would be nice. Calanda wanted it all. What type of electrical service? AC or DC? Um, yeah, they use the over. I don't know which is which. To be honest, Ralph. I know I got the travel. I got the travel kit. They use the either the three prong or the circular two prong works. Does that make sense to you? Um, Let me see if I can show you. Oh, I don't got it here. Oh, off it out there. Yeah, so you want to get those. Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, there we go. Allianz, thank you for that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but inside of the travel kit, we have a recommendation on the outlets, right? Dress code for women, long dresses, arms covered. Be respectful, but there's no restrictions on women. Thank you, Ralph. I'm glad it makes sense. There's no restriction on women other than, I was about to say it, Juanita, Lalibela. Lalibela, the women have to have their heads covered. And that's just like a scarf. And, we just say wear pants and just be covered, right? Um, I'm just going to say it, right? We're going through, right? And all of our women that purchased scarves or whatever the case may be, they made sure that they had their heads covered in respect. But there were some Karens there. One that wouldn't take their shoes off to enter into the certain temples. And then two, they did not have their heads covered. And, man, just don't be that person, right? Just don't be that person. If you don't want to abide by other folks' rules inside of their house, don't go to their house, right? Because you come to my home, you're going to have to take your shoes off or you ain't coming in. Like, that's just what it is. I don't do this at my house. Well, I want you to know you ain't at your house, right? So when we go to their country, this ain't America. Right? Well, America do it this way. You stay here then, right? But let's go and treat people's homes and countries with respect that we would expect for ourselves, right? So if they got the rule, just abide by the rule or don't go. Like you don't have to go. If you don't want to cover your head for whatever reason, don't go. Right? I promise you, you can stay back at the hotel. You can have another adventure. You can do whatever it is that you want. But I just would ask that let's just be respectful, right? Is there a swimming pool at the hotel? Oh, that's a good question. There's a workout facility. We were outside. There's an outside area. There's a bar out there. There's no swimming pool at the Radisson. I'm really trying to remember. And I normally always bring my swim trunks just in case. But I don't I remember I worked out. I remember the workout facility. I don't remember seeing a pool. I was at the bar outside. I would remember a pool, right? It would be big. It would be a pool. Unless there was one on a different level and I just didn't notice. We can look that up. No swimming pool. All right, they already looked it up. Right, there you go. Is religious service on the schedule? Is there a religious service on the schedule? Juanita, we tried to make it to the rock churches in time for their ceremony there. Sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't. It's when you go, you will understand what I'm saying. The road, it ain't just like rolling through, Chicago at a particular time, right? So if the schedule allows, then we'll be able to witness that phenomenon there in Lalibela. All right. All right, we good there. Any other questions for me? Any other thoughts? Anything you want me to share? Anything else? Okay, I want to make sure. Ashley, did I get all of the questions or am I clear? I'm taking their silence as a yes. But no, it was an amazing experience, y'all. Man, I'm still like trying to frame it and put it into words. When would you go again if we miss October 2025? We'll go back in 2026. We don't have the dates nailed down for 2026 just yet. But for those that are interested in 2025, we are stuffing that trip. We got about 10 spots left on that one. 46.99 double occupancy, 55.99 single occupancy. When you click it, you actually have an opportunity to see your travel dates. Got that. It's the 9th through the 18th. And you'll be able to see, I'm trying to make sure I can see this. Trip options, we click book now. This over here. One traveler. Okay. Oh yeah, 5 monthly installments. There we go. So you will see, yeah, you will see all of the trip breakdown as you do it. How many folks are in the group? There will be about 15 to 17 in this particular group, just trying to keep it about a certain size. So it'll be a smaller group. As we get more and more mature inside of Ethiopia, we can expand that number. Yeah, some good question there. Yeah, so if you go ahead and click the link, you will see that. And your today, the 199 is all that is due at today, but then it'll show you your payment schedule starting if we sign up today for 15 to be the first payment, and then on the 15th of each month, the final payment, the full payment needs to be made 30 days before the trip begins, right? So on the 9th, the 9th month, yeah, October's 10th, on the 9th month of, what is that? September 2025, right? It'll be the final payment leading up to your trip. And yeah, so then you have an opportunity to come to Addis Ababa, right? Come to Ethiopia and have this experience with us. Sorry, I missed this. Was this your first trip to Ethiopia? Yes, Lisa, this was the inaugural trip, right? So we just kicked it off here in March. So we're coming back in October for the next trip for this experience. Yeah, this was a good one, right? This was definitely a good one. So one interesting note that I noticed partially through the trip, because I was trying to think about like the differences between West Africa and East Africa and like what kind of strikes me. And it took me a while actually think Addis Ababa is a little bit more developed than West Africa, which was kind of shocking to me. But two, you don't got the remnants of colonialized housing like you do in West Africa. In West Africa, you got homes and people living there, and it's all Africans that are staying there, but they all got walls around their homes, and they got you see these barbed wire fences all throughout. And that's something that's prominent throughout West Africa, in particular, Sierra Leone and in the Gambia, in Senegal, Nigeria is the same, in Ghana, right? You see these walls with these barbed wire fences, and none of that is in Ethiopia. And that was something that was stood out to me after a couple of days of being there, saying, "Oh, they don't have it." And like I was looking for something interesting to see. Yeah, South Africa, all of these countries that have been colonized because, listen, there's nobody more paranoid than the biggest crook in the bunch, right? So when the colonizers came and they had to stay there, they had to build these forts and they had to fortify their areas because they robbing the people blind, right? Literally and figuratively. Um, so they shielded themselves off and walled themselves off from people, and you got that carrying over from the days of colonization, which is really interesting. But you don't see that in Ethiopia, so that was something that really stood out to me. What was your impression of the current economic and political climate there? Um, they are investing in growth. That was like the biggest thing that um, really came to me. My neighbor gave me the impression. Yeah, it just depends on which end of the spectrum that you're looking at, right? Everybody is not well off, right? And I always temper that American sentiment with everybody's not well off in this country, right? We go into the backwoods of Mississippi and folks is hurting, right? Them rough hills of West Virginia, right? Them folks ain't got nothing, right? So poverty is everywhere. So you see that, but they are preparing for growth. Like Addis Ababa it's clear that they are building at an alarming rate. They are growing. They are beautifying the city, which was something that was really interesting. But like when we talk to the guides, um, they're preparing to be the hub of East Africa for travel and experiences and business. They are preparing for it, and you can like see it. The handwriting's on the wall. I don't know about the political climate. I wasn't all up in their local politics and what's happening. Um, but it just seems like collectively they are preparing for growth. That's what it looks like. And if you know what's happening on the continent, the whole continent is preparing for growth. It's only we are asleep on like really what's happening over there. But it's just a beautiful experience, right? Is there a consideration of Southern Ethiopia travel? Maybe at some point in the future, but not right now, right? Like I wouldn't say that we're going to pull that off on this next particular trip. We just got to continue to build the relationships over there. Safety is number one concern with our community. Um, we don't want to not that we don't want to. We're not going to put you in a situation where we're not very confident that you are safe, right? So we just don't have the relationships in that area of the country yet. What is the major sort of income for Ethiopia? What is the major industry? Coffee is, I believe, one of their number one exports. Leather is a really big piece of the industrial pie. What else did they tell us? I think potatoes is pretty big. I know coffee is huge, and tourism is like is a growing interest. But they supplied most of the world's coffee. But they supply something like 80% of the coffee beans in Starbucks. So you've had Ethiopian coffee. whether you've known it or not. And like that was like one of the questions because surprise, surprise, China is there building a lot of the infrastructure. And like one of the questions was, well, what are you exporting to China? You know, and coffee was one of the main exports. They do a few $1 billion in sales in coffee to China alone, which was interesting. Consideration. That was my next question. The Chinese presence, yeah, they are there. I didn't see them physically a lot. But they let me know there is a Chinatown, right? There's an area where the Chinese are at. But it's like in the rest of the countries, like you see them, they're more prominent. Like they own like shops and stuff. It's just different because I didn't really see them. We had to ask about them, right? But you see the buildings going up, and you know they close by. They involved in that process, so they are there. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Good questions. Okay, y'all got anything else for me, right? Man, I just been talking all week now, I realize. But yeah, so if you're interested in going with us on this particular trip, sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia is going to be your link. $46.99 double occupancy, $55.99 for single occupancy. You could go ahead and grab your spot and add a traveler to your room later. Or if you have any questions, you can always email us at support@sankofaexperiences.com. That's support@sankofaexperiences.com. My voice is shot. I am glad I am done for the week. Were you able to go inside the churches? Yes. Yes, Nita. I got all sorts of video inside of the churches, and you can turn your flash on if the lights go out. We had those experiences too, right? You're up in the mountains, man. We in a different country. The lights go out. So but yeah, so I definitely got enough pictures and video. Eventually, I'm gonna source through all this stuff and start to share some of it. But yeah, it's nothing like seeing it. Just watching the videos, I'm like, man, you do not get the feel while you're in there. But it's definitely something to see. All right, always enjoyable hearing. Great interview. Glad you shared with us. All right, well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you joining us. Let me know if you have any final questions. If not, you can always email us at support. Sankofa Experience. Yeah, you can always email us there, Sister Ashley, who is always on the spot, helping and assisting in this space. She's our travel coordinator. She's on the call. Thank you, Ashley, for all you do getting this together. But we are laying out the carpet for you. I believe there are about 10 slots left for this particular trip going in October. Hopefully if you're interested in that trip, don't hesitate, don't wait. We always say tomorrow's not promised, right? And at the rate y'all president is going, travel ain't promised either. So it's good to get an opportunity to get outside the community, get outside the country, and have a different conversation, right? Because it's different in those international waters. I can say that. I'll discuss with my husband and see if this is something we can do. Excellent, Rhonda. Looking forward to seeing you on the continent. I may be going back myself on this Ethiopia trip. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to be doing some heavy African travel later this year. So I don't want to leave the continent, y'all. I'm going to tell the truth, right? I've been going, then I come back. I go, then I come back. I want to go and go tour a couple of countries at a time and kind of have those experiences. So don't be surprised if I pop up on y'all in Ethiopia. So I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Go ahead and I don't remember been to Nigeria yet. We go to Nigeria the end of September, early October. So that's why I think I'll already be over there. So I may just pop up. But yeah, so we're going to Nigeria for the first time at the end of September. Beginning of September, we're going to Brazil for the first time. So definitely going to be on both of those trips I'm looking forward to it myself. But like I said, do the Brazil, come back home, do Nigeria. Then I think I'm going to country hop for a little while over there. So have some more experiences. I have some more to share. Hopefully I get my voice back. I didn't really even realize I lost it, right? But it's been good. So again, thank you, Sister Ashley. Thank you, y'all, for being here. I appreciate y'all time. But again, if you're ready to travel with us, you can go ahead and click the link and join us. If you have any questions, you can shoot an email to support@Sankofa Experiences or support@urbanintellectuals.com. Both of those always work as well. I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Until next time, love, peace, and power to the people. Good night, everybody.